pole position a little earlier. Marta Garcia secured her position as champion in the inaugural F1 Academy Series. She led from pole to flag, and it was a wonderful performance. She needed only 16 points going into that race over the course of the 3 races. Now we find ourselves just about ready for the second of those races, reversing the top 8 from the opening qualifying yesterday. We are all set here in Austin. We are indeed, and you join us just as the cars make their way out of the pit lane to get onto the grid. I'm delighted to say I am joined by Jamie Chadwick and Naomi Schiff for this second race of 3 this weekend. Let's just, if we could, comment on the inaugural champion. She did a fantastic job.
She absolutely did. I mean, Marta Garcia is, although she's only 23 years old, she's quite an experienced driver. And this season so far, she's won 7 races, including the one this morning. So just a great run from her. And honestly, I think a deserved championship win.
Well, she was put under some pressure, wasn't she, Jamie? We saw that going up the hill into turn 1 by Abby Pulling, and then towards the end as well. So she was made to work for it.
She was, but it really was a championship drive. I think she knew the risk she needed to take. She knew what she needed to do, ideally stay out front. She didn't need to win that race, but she gave everything to do that, and I think that's what makes her a worthy champion and so deserving of it.
As we stand out here, Naomi, on the grid, you can see, I mean, that was early on this morning. We're, what, 5-6 hours later now. You can see the grandstands are full. This is going to be the biggest crowd that any of them, I should imagine, will have raced in front of.
Absolutely, and it's just great timing, you know, for F1 to be able to give them the slot just before the sprint race. Everyone's taking their seats for the sprints later, and they also at the same time now get to support these young ladies. And it's something that's so important for women's sports, is for people to watch. And for sure, it's going to put a bit of pressure on their shoulders, but I think what's going to give them even more pressure is the fact that they've got all these F1 teams watching them, but it's great for them.
Can we just have a quick word on the success, we think, of this weekend and how we move into next year? Obviously, Marta's not going to be there. They'll announce on Tuesday, I think, where she may be racing next time out, having won it. But it's been a great success. There's no doubt about it. And we've seen the likes of Lewis and George getting behind it.
Absolutely, and I think this weekend is the proof that, you know, it's going to have success going into next year. It's fantastic that it's got people have the appetite that they have for it. I think just the reception, even here, you look at the crowds coming out. I know they're here for the sprint race as well, but they don't have to be out watching F1 Academy, and they are. So I think seeing the support of the F1 drivers is giving it that credibility. Obviously, Susie behind it as well gives it a lot of credibility, and yeah, it's just great to see.
Okay, let's hear from the champion, because Naomi spoke to her after that one.
Marta Garcia, a huge congratulations. You are champion of the inaugural season of F1 Academy. How are you feeling?
Emotional. I'm so emotional right now. I was crying in the car. But yeah, of course, super happy with winning the championship, with the team, with my team Prema, and all of the hard work we've been doing through the season. It's great, and I'm just really, really out of words.
Well, you had a start to finish win, but Abby Pulling had the pressure on you throughout the race. How were you dealing with that in the car?
Yeah, Abby made it harder for me. She was quite quick, and yeah, I got a bit of pressure in the back from her, but yeah, just kept the pressure there and just got the win.
Well, it could be time to celebrate, but you do have another race later today and another one tomorrow. How are you going to tackle those races?
Well, of course, now we have inverted grid. I'm just going to try to make the best out of it. Now the pressure is a bit gone, so let's just have fun.
Well, huge congratulations once again. Well done.
Thank you.
Let's just reiterate then the state of the championship. There we go, confirmed with that race win. Marta Garcia, congratulations to her, 23 years of age, and has clinched the title. Hamda Al Qubaisi is on pole position for this second race. In the teams, though, it was really, really impressive, though, from the other Prema drivers. They were behind MP Motorsport going into that. They are now 11 points ahead, and that's because they had 3 drivers inside the top 8. So they've taken over there. Let's go to the Skypad, Ants, there to analyse some of the best moments from that opening race.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. So yeah, let's take a look, just a recap of what happened in race 1. It was a great getaway, as we mentioned already, by the champion, Garcia, as they headed up the hill towards turn 1 and pulling down the inside. The pink car there, number 10, makes a good move, but Garcia's covered it off by taking the perfect line round the outside there. Some drivers, Bulla in car number 7, running wide, but Pulling doesn't give up here. This is what I really liked. A really good close fight in between this flat-out left-hander of turn 3, and you can see how precise they had to be with this curb. Look, on the inside, You've got to avoid that. That's a suspension breaker, that one, if you go over in these cars, these F4 cars, over a curb like that. And it's, you know, they're giving each other just enough room here. Marti, car number 1, tries to get involved as well. But yeah, Garcia had that covered at the start, like I say. And then we had a clash, unfortunately, later on in the race. You had this three-way fight going on in towards turn 1. And as we've seen so many times before on this circuit, it is a wide entry into turn 1 and 3 into 2, I'd say, because you can get 2 cars around there. From races I've been in before and experienced in commentary, you can get 2 cars going side by side. Unfortunately, that it creates a pinch zone if it's 3 into 1 or 2, like it was in this situation. And unfortunately, these drivers were out of the race at that point. But the race carried on. We saw some great defensive driving, and Marti again on the outside going for a move here. Unfortunately, the move was off track, but they seem to allow it in this category of racing. They're not quite as strict on the track limits there, so it makes the move, albeit off the track. But yeah, some great tussles up and down the field the whole way through. So we're definitely expecting more of the same.
Okay, well, let's have a little stroll down the grid, because there we go. That is the pole sitter, Hamda Al-Khabaisi. Let's talk about these cars, if we could, a little bit. I mean, you compare them to the Formula 1 cars, and these are F4 cars, ostensibly, aren't they?
They are Tatuus F4 cars.
Okay, but there's a lot of room for overtaking. You can see that, because it's a reasonably wide track. We know that going up, it widens at the top there, so great overtaking opportunities there at the top.
Definitely, and Marta said already after race 1 she felt like she could have braked later, and I'm sure a lot of these girls are a bit more tentative in race 1, so I'd imagine they're going to go for it. You can just see how wide it is. It really lends itself to, yeah, show your nose up there.
4 Brits on the grid. Here's one of them, Chloe Chong. Well, what have you thought of the way the Brits have performed this year?
Well, look, I think Abby Pulling was one of the star drivers coming into the season that I kind of had really high expectations for. You know, when she came into W Series, young driver, she was even a reserve driver initially, came in, hit the ground running, and then the full season she did there was just fantastic. So she's not had a true show of what she's capable of in F1 Academy, although this morning she put a lot of pressure on Marta to almost steal the win from her, but she's not had a win this season so far, so maybe this weekend there's an opportunity for her
a
to do
little
that.
wave there from Bianca Bustamante, who's been confirmed as the McLaren driver for next year. That's huge for her, isn't it? She'll get a lot of support.
It is, and first driver confirmed for next year, so that's great for her. I think it's going to give her confidence this weekend. You know, she's got the support of one of the biggest Formula 1 teams out there, so that's great for her.
Stop here, because I want to talk about this lady, Jessica Edgar, because she had a terrific drive, a really, really good drive each in the second qualifying session.
She absolutely did. I was just saying to Jamie before we were on air that she's got a real chance to win this race, because the drivers ahead of her yesterday in qualifying obviously weren't quite as quick. She's had the pace, but she didn't have a fantastic race this morning, so I don't know if she's got to work on her confidence in the racing rather than, you know, just qualifying laps, but she's got potential in this race to make some moves forward.
I mean, she stole the pole position, no doubt about it, off the championship winner.
She didn't give up, did she?
She didn't give up, no.
She didn't, but she needs a good race now, because she didn't have a great race this morning, and you want to go into pole position tomorrow having all the confidence, so she needs to have a good race now, sleep well tonight, and tomorrow she can come back on the front row.
Back in 5th, Lena Bühler, she was the nearest challenger, wasn't she, for a long period of time to Marta. She took it in her stride. She'll be back next year for more.
She did, and also, you know, something we're forgetting to mention is, although Marta clinched the title this morning, Lena Bühler and Hamda Al-Khabaisi, Hamda's on pole position, is still in a battle with Lena Bühler for 2nd in the championship. So we're going to watch that in this
Can we
race.
have a quick word here with Alice Powell, because I know she's been advising Abby Pulling. It was a great effort earlier, wasn't it?
Prima donna.
It was a fantastic drive, though.
Yeah, really, really good. This will be a good one, because reverse grid races, Abby likes a bit of overtaking, so hopefully we'll move on forward.
Yeah. Abby, fantastic effort earlier. What are you hoping for? What's possible, do you think, from back here now?
Yeah, I think the main thing is just to overtake people. Yeah, I've got an idea of where I want to go in turn 1, but, you know, it can all change, so we'll see.
Tell you what, you get some access here, don't you? Fantastic. Let's move it over, and I wonder if we could do the same here with Marta Garcia, because here she is. This is the championship winner. Wonder if we can just have a quick word. Marta, are we okay to have a quick word? Just, I don't know if you can say it, but the championship secure, is it just go for broke today?
Right now?
Right now.
Right now, just want to have fun. Just want to do some overtaking and some action.
Good luck, best of luck. There we go, fantastic. Right up close and personal. But there we go, that's the championship winner. She's got it all to do from 8th, but if anyone can do it, she can. Let's hand over to our commentators.
Race day continues here in Austin, Texas for F1 Academy. Welcome back to live coverage. It's the final round of the year and we're about to look forward to race 2 of 3 this weekend. But we have already crowned our inaugural Drivers' Champion in the form of Marta Garcia. But the Drivers' Championship may be done and dusted. The Team's Championship is still up for grabs, but another race awaits. 8 laps around this circuit of the Americas. A driver's favourite, but it's technical and challenging to hook up all 20 corners. But one race down, all 15 drivers head into this race with even more knowledge gained on how to get the best out of this circuit. My name is Harry Benjamin. I'll be guiding you through all of the action. And look at that, packed out grandstands, packed out grass. So brilliant to see the fans coming in across the weekend. 440,000 people expected here in Austin across the weekend and about to enjoy for the first time in F1 Academy season supporting Formula One. This is Hamda Al-Qubaisi. She starts on pole. This grid was set by reversing the qualifying results from qualifying 1 yesterday. So the top 8 were reversed and that meant Hamda Al-Qubaisi got reverse grid pole. Chloe Chong will start alongside her. We'll run you through the grid shortly, but it's lovely weather in Austin, 38.8 degrees track temperature, 33.6 degrees, and the sun is shining. There's a couple of clouds in the air, and ahead of race 2, this is how the grid looks. Starting at the back, 15th place for Maite Cáceres off the grid. She was involved in a bit of a turn 1 incident. Then comes Carrie Schreiner in 14th, Megan Gilks from 13th place. Hamda Al-Qubaisi is 12th behind Amelie de Hoos, who was another car involved in the turn 1 incident from race 1 earlier. Lola Lovenfoss starts 10th behind Chloe Grant in 9th. Then comes Marta Garcia in 8th, our race 1 winner and your 2023 F1 Academy champion. Abby Pulling was hounding her hard for 2nd place in race 1. She starts ahead for qualifying today. Marty goes from 6th behind Lena Buller. In 4th is Jess Edgar behind Bianca Bustamante, who starts 3rd, a recent addition to the McLaren F1 Academy program. Chloe Chong, youngest on the grid, starts in 2nd behind her first reverse grid pole of the year, Hamda Al-Qubaisi. So that is how your 15 drivers line up. Hamda Al-Qubaisi will have the best view in the house. And before we get going for the formation laps, 8 laps expected, around about 20 minutes of racing or so. And it's a long, steep run up to turn 1 for our drivers. The incline, huge, over 100-foot incline. In fact, it's almost like 30 F1 cars stacked up on top of each other. But the umbrellas are starting to be put away to not deter from the rain, but to deter from the sun that is bringing even more heat down onto our drivers in the cockpit. Let's hear from Bianca.
You have the pace, naturally, just do what you know how to do, it's enough. And never back down, never what?
Never give up!
Never back down, never what?
Never give up!
Bianca Bustamante ready to go then, the 18-year-old from the Philippines, who currently is down in around about 7th in the Drivers' Championship with a couple of wins and a couple of podiums to her name so far. She'll be looking to get a couple more positions in this race to try and take the win, but less points are up for grabs in this race. It's a shorter race, and because it's set by reversing the qualifying results for race 1, it's 10 points for the win, 8 points for 2nd, 6 points for 3rd, all the way down to 1 point for 8th place. Then the fastest lap also gets you a point as long as you finish within the top 10. Grid being cleared then, and we should about to be underway for our formation lap. It's a 240-meter run down from pole to turn 1, then an over 100-meter incline, 100 feet incline, I should say, up to turn 1. The blind left-hander, which then brings you all the way downhill through turn 2, designed much like Interlagos's Senna S's, before you then hurtle towards the roller coaster ride that is 3, 4, 5 and 6, inspired by the Silverstone's, Maggots and Beckett's section. And while they start to get temperatures up to speed in their tyres, we can hear from our top 3 on the grid: Bianca Bustamante, Chloe Chong and Hamda Al-Qubaisi.
We had a pace in Q1, actually we were P1, P2. I set the 3rd fastest lap time, but unfortunately just by a millimeter we had a track limit and my fastest lap time was deleted, so I was brought down to P6 and P3 for the reverse grid. So yeah, I was pretty disappointed by that, but in the end I think the pace was there.
Something felt different about this qualifying, a lot more calm. Felt like I've matured a lot this year, and I just put it all together. I think just a lot of hard work, effort. I really like this track, and the whole team's been great and just supporting me and guiding me through those tough times as well this year, because it's definitely not been a smooth road.
Up front it's really close, so just a few tenths it would have bumped me up a lot, but yeah, I struggled a bit with a lot of oversteer and I had a bit of traffic in the first quali, but I'm really happy with the result anyways. We'll start pole for race 2. It's good to start pole here at this track, so yeah, we'll push.
And there is your top 3 on the starting grid. Hamda Al-Qubaisi then for MP Motorsport will have the best view in the house from pole. Chloe Chong alongside her and Bianca Bustamante from 3rd. Really good to hear from Chloe Chong there, actually. Youngest driver on the grid, starting in 2nd, the British racer, at just 16 years old. This being her first full year of stepping up to any kind of single-seater car racing. So fantastic to see her coming on and developing. As you say, it's been an up and down year for Chloe Chong, but certainly hoping to end it with a high. In terms of the team's championship, well, it flipped around in race 1. MP Motorsport came into this round leading the team standings, but thanks to Prema's win last time out earlier this morning, they are now back in front. Prema with 11 points over MP Motorsport as Jess Hawkins watches on as they gear up to the grid. I'm very pleased to be joined by 3-time W Series champion and Indy Next driver Jamie Chadwick. Jamie, we had an enthralling race 1. What are you expecting for race 2?
More action, I think. Yeah, I mean, I heard Marta say early, she felt like she braked a little bit early. A few of them taking turn 1 a little bit more tentatively in race 1, being a bit more conservative. So I think now going into race 2, it's going to be gloves off, and especially now the championship's decided. There's a lot of drivers still in there trying to fight for their position, so I'm sure it's going to be action all the way through. Absolutely, we can't wait for this one. Gloves will be off. We had a bit of an incident on the 2nd lap going into turn 1. Very much a case of 3 going into 1, not quite working. So let's see what the first few laps unveils. Susie Wolf watching on with the actress Chloe Grace Moretz, who'll be waving the flag on this race in 8 laps time. But for now, it's all focus on the 15 drivers on the grid who are about to take the start to race 2 of 3 here in Austin for F1 Academy. The back row will be Carrie Schreiner and Maite Cáceres, who will peel up at the back. The green flag flies on the front row. Chloe Chong alongside her on pole position is Hamda Al-Qubaisi. It's all eyes to the lights and foot to the floor. There's a staller at the back. It's Bianca Bustamante. Everybody's able to get around her, and there's another car right at the back as well that's also stopped. But it's a good start then from Al-Qubaisi, who hugs that inside line to defend from Chloe Chong. Jess Edgar in 3rd. Lena Buller trying to find a way around her in the number 7 ART. The Sauber colours backing the Swiss racer. Buller gets in front of Edgar, who now has Nerea Marti right behind her, but it doesn't go well. 2 cars side by side through this next section, so Buller wins out that one in front of Edgar, then Marti. But Bianca Bustamante looked like she wasn't able to get off the line right at the start, but Hamda Al-Qubaisi getting the start she needed and already pulling a little bit of a gap. Perfect getaway there for Hamda Al-Qubaisi, and now we're seeing Bianca Bustamante and Hamda's sister Amna Al-Qubaisi that are stalled at the grid there. So yeah, good voyaging from all the drivers there, but Hamda's managed to get her head down as they all squabble behind.
Yeah, good spot, Jamie. Hamda Al-Khabaisi was the other car at the back as we have Marta Garcia, our champion, nearly finding the wrong way round, coming onto the main straight, battling with Nerea Marti in front of her, and Lola Lovenfoss in the number 2 Campos in this battle as well. She's being chased down by Abby Pulling in the pink road in Carlin, who looks to the inside, down the long back straight, late on the brakes for Abby Pulling, as Chloe Chong has a battle with Lena Buller. This is Buller getting through on Chong for 2nd position in this race, and we're not even through lap 1. So it's Hamda Al-Khabaisi who leads from pole. Buller has just got up into 2nd, Chong down to 3rd, as Edgar tries to find a way around, but Chong coming under a little bit of pressure here from Edgar now. Chong, the youngest driver on the grid, the least experienced of any of these drivers in any kind of car racing, having a great start from P2, but now starting to fall back slightly.
Yeah, she needs to get her eyes forwards now. She's on a little bit of the back foot. Lena Buller's found a way past her. They both went off the track. I think it'll be okay. Both of them pushing each other wide, but yeah, it's all kicking off now. I think Lena Buller needs to get her head down. She was one of the more aggressive drivers in race 1, able to make the moves, and Hamda Al-Khabaisi has had the perfect opening lap, so that's great for her.
Absolutely. Pulling did get Lovenfoss, so Pulling up to 7th, Lovenfoss down to 8th. Just in front of that battle, though, is this one once more. It's Chloe Chong in 3rd, Jess Edgar behind, then Nerea Marti and Marta Garcia, all involved in this battle. Right now, though, it's Edgar who is in the prime position to try and find a way through on Chong, but after a little bit of a wobble and just a slight bit of tetchiness on the front end of that Prema for Chong, Edgar just waiting to pounce and waiting to try and force Chong into a mistake. But they all know, Jamie, that this is a much shorter race than what we got in race 1. There are less points up for grabs, but there's less time to make a move stick.
It is, but it's also worth noting it is a reverse grid race, so effectively the cars are out of position. The pace advantage is with the cars from 8th backwards, so 8th forward, sorry. So the likes of Chloe Chong is a little bit at a disadvantage here pace-wise. She's going to do her best to hold on, but yeah, she's already watching her mirrors quite a lot, and Lena Buller's got away.
What a great experience, though, that the reverse grid race provides for those that aren't normally up the front in the main races, to be trying to understand the racecraft there and the writing on the wall for Chloe Chong in the end, as Jess Edgar breezes past on the main straight, and already as they head into the braking zone, Edgar makes the move stick and gets up into 3rd. Chong down to 4th. Nerea Marti will be next up to try and find a way through. Garcia is in 6th, just in front of Pulling, and of course those two were P1 and P2 in race 1, so it'll be really fascinating to see how well they can carve through the field. Exactly,
especially for Marta. The championship's done, so the gloves are off. She can enjoy this. She said on the grid she wanted to have fun. Exactly, she wanted to have fun, and it looks like she's having fun. She's got Abby Pulling, as in race 1, keeping her honest. So yeah, both of them are going to be getting their heads down to try and get through the pack as quick as they can in this 8-lap race.
These two going toe-to-toe. Nerea Marti having a little look on the inside of Chong coming into the final corner. She's not far enough along. No DRS or anything of that kind in these F1 Academy cars as we start lap 3 of 8. Chong leads this gaggle in 4th, then Marti, then Garcia, then Pulling. Coming to the inside line, though, Marti having a look down the inside of Chong, but can't make the move done.
Marta's
and you can see there, Marta Garcia, you're right, Jamie, she's got a broken front wing.
I wonder how she's done that. She must have just tagged slightly the back of Nerea Marti, because I can't see that she's driven that with the whole race, but maybe she has. She is starting to fall into the clutches of Abby Pulling, but the pair of them are still keeping both Chloe Chong and Nerea Marti honest.
Yeah, you can just see there, it's at a slight tilt, isn't it, on the red and white Prema. So Pulling right on the back of her in the pink road in Carling. Garcia in the red and white Prema, our champion in 2023, with a broken front wing, currently occupying 6th place, Pulling behind in 7th, then Lovenfoss, Grant and De Host, the top 10. But a reminder, only the top 8 score points. But talk us through the start, Jamie.
So his main focus is actually on the 2 cars that stalled, so we kind of didn't really catch what the guys were doing at the front, but Hamda Al-Khabaisi getting a good getaway there. Not quite as good as Chloe Chong. She came across, covered it early, covered her line, managed to keep the lead nicely, and actually they were all pretty well behaved behind. As we said, it really does invite itself to have contact at that turn 1, and here's where it started to get a little bit spicy, and we see yeah, Marta got that damage on lap 1 actually. So she's been carrying that damage all the way through. I think that's one thing to note about this championship in these cars is there is downforce on the cars, but it's not quite to the level of, you know, what we see in Formula 1. So they can have damage like this and get away with it a little bit, and she can still carry good speed and be able to keep, like I said, with the pace of the girls in front.
Yeah, F2 front runner, Théa Pourchaire watching on, also backed by the Sauber F1 team, much like Lena Buller, who currently occupies 2nd place in this race, still chasing down Hamda Al-Khabaisi. We also saw from those start replays that Pulling didn't get a particularly great start either, so she's sort of on the back foot trying to regain ground. She did actually start ahead of Garcia. Garcia getting that front wing damage. I think it was contact with Jess Edgar, which almost sent her into a bit of a spin. So Garcia on the back foot, then comes Pulling in 7th, Lovenfoth 8th, then Grant 9th, De Hoos in the top 10. And here was Pulling getting past Garcia down the inside while trying to have a go down the inside, but then Garcia forced out wide, carries more momentum, then has the inside line and is able to get back through. These two love fighting together, don't they, Jamie? They're glued together.
They are, and to be honest, if I was Abby, I'd be wanting that position back. It felt like Marta just put her foot in it across the white line using track limits there. So a little bit of a tricky one. If I was Abby's engineer, I'd be telling her straight away that Marta's got front wing damage. As we see a move here down the inside from Nerea Marti.
Well, more bad news for Marta Garcia. She's been given a black and orange flag, which essentially means that she needs to come in and change her front wing and repair the damage. The race control have deemed that could be dangerous if it were to break even more. So that's a disaster really for Garcia. She had nothing to lose anyway. She's already got the championship, but now she's being really caught up in this battle, which Chong is still holding on in front at the moment. Chong is in the number 14 red and white Prema. Then comes Marti. Then comes Garcia with the broken front wing. Pulling, having a go, trying to get side by side as they come into the tricky left-hander of turn 15. Pulling skirts to the inside of Garcia. Nice move from Abby Pulling. Fantastic.
Really nicely done. And that's the move that's been brewing for a while now.
Okay, Marta, box this lap. You have the front wing broken. Box this lap. You have orange and black.
From my knowledge, I think if you get a black and orange flag, you've got 3 laps to respond to it. I might be wrong on that. You know, someone can correct me on the rules, but there's 3 laps remaining. I would consider staying out. But yeah, obviously engineers told her there she's got to respond to that. She's got front wing damage. That's a shame. I mean, she did what she needed to do in race 1, but she was showing some good pace there, even with the damage.
No, I think you're absolutely bang on, but I wonder if they stayed out 3 laps, or we're basically at the end then, aren't we? Whether a further penalty might have come, but I think they've decided, well, we had to come in at some stage, and with the championship wrapped up for Marta Garcia, she can come in and continue gaining knowledge with a fixed front wing. Out in front then, 1.2 second gap on lap 5 of 8 for Hamda Al-Khabaisi in front of Lena Buller. Jess Edgar currently has the final podium spot. Chloe Chong is doing a sterling job of trying to hold on in front of faster cars behind her. A little bit of a wide line coming in this tricky sector. She peeks over the blind crest of turn 10 and now to the short downhill braking zone of turn 11. She'll be under pressure from Nerea Marti, and Abby Pulling behind. Marti having to go defensive and attack at the same time because Pulling is coming for Marti. Marti in the number 1 Campos, Pulling in the number 10 Rodin Carlin, and Pulling gets the job done. Pulling is on a mission here.
This is nicely done from Chloe Chong. She's backing those two up into each other so they can fight, and those two have a lot more experience than Chloe Chong. Those two did W Series. They have had experience in the car. They've raced wheel to wheel for many more years than Chloe Chong has. So she's doing a great job here, hanging on. And like I said, getting those two to fight while she can hopefully get a little bit of breathing room, that will help her.
Yeah, Nerea Marti almost had another look down the inside of Pulling behind, but nothing to be done there. This would be Chong's best results of the season if she could hold on to it. So far, she's got a couple of 6th place finishes to her name, but a 4th place spot would be fantastic for the young 16-year-old racer. And Marta Garcia then out of the car, out of this race. And that is her day done. And I think she's just describing there what happened and where she picked up that front wing damage, which we saw on the replay. So a shame to see Garcia out of this one, but 3 laps to go then. Hamda Al-Qubaisi has had a fairly smooth run of it. The main battle right now is coming in the form of a fourth position. Chong, Pulling, Marty, all involved in this. And actually, as they fight, they're bringing in Lola Lovenfoss in 7th, just behind, as they make the run up to turn 1.
Yeah, Chloe Chong's really got her mirrors full now. Once the top 3 actually get away.
So much pressure for her to absorb, isn't it?
It is, but it's great experience. And she'll look back at races like this, she'll think, oh, I could have done this better, I could have done that better. But it's exactly what she needs. And she's in a great team with Prema. She's got a great teammate, obviously, that's won the championship. So, I mean, she's going to learn so much from this year and hopefully gets the chance to come back next year. And I think everything that she can take from all these races, the experience, she's going to be in a great position.
You're off track.
So Pulling being told to give the position back then. So not happy with that. She's right onto the back of Chloe Chong, looking to make a move, but she's going to have to succumb, according to the team, to Nerea Marti behind. I wanted to bring up Bianca Bustamante as Pulling does let Marti through. Bianca Bustamante, who stalled on the grid, managing to get back into this race, and she has had a brilliant fight back. She's up into 8th. That's a points-paying position right now. If Bustamante is to hold on to it, she's just overtaking Chloe Grant, and she's the red and white Prema in the background of this shot. Chong is the red and white Prema in the foreground. Pulling, having let Marti through, has now managed to get back through on the main straight. Smart driving there from Pulling, able to use the slipstream. Bustamante further back though, nearly swiping across the front end of Chloe Grant. That all got a bit tasty.
Oh, it did, yeah. I think they handled that quite well, and not to have further contact or any more front wing damage in this race. But yeah, Pulling doing a smart thing there, giving the place back and then going straight for it. I don't think she should have given the position back as her team told her to, but she'll feel hard done by that. With that, like I said, you know, they're pushing each other wide. It's easy just to keep your foot in and gain a position, but then it is tricky around this track. You know, track limits are such a topical thing.
Yeah, such a bumpy track. Sometimes you can see the cars undulating, but of course the cameras never quite do it justice for how bumpy it can be. And the incline there, well, you can see it there, that is over 100-foot incline that they have to deal with. Hamda Al-Qubaisi leads then on the penultimate lap ahead of Bula and Edgar. Further back in the battle for 7th, it's Lola Lovenfoss on the inside. Bianca Bustamante takes the wider line, sweeps round the corner, trying to carry a bit more speed as they head downhill to try and make the move through on Lovenfoss for 7th, but she might just have to tuck in behind as they head through the tight and twisty Sector 1.
Yeah, Bianca's got the bit between her teeth after that first, or the start incident that she had. So, yeah, she's flying now. She's definitely got a lot of pace in that Prema car. Trying to make a move now up to get into 7th.
Yeah, Lovenfoss had actually a bit of a bad run through that section, so Bustamante has closed right up on the back, Pulling back through on Marti, also right on the back of Chloe Chong, who is still doing her best to hold on to that 4th spot, but it's the writing on the wall for Chloe Chong as Pulling moves to the inside of turn 11, slight lock-up. Runs a little bit deep, they'll be side to side, it'll be a drag race all the way down the back straight, and Nerea Marti will be lurking behind in her Campos, trying to get a bit of the toe, but it's Chong on the inside, Pulling will be on the outside. Who is going to make this one stick? Chong will have the advantage, but we know Pulling is so good on the brakes, but she has to watch out for Nerea Marti as well. Chong on the inside, looks like she's able to hold the position. Lola Lovenfoss further back, fighting still with Bustamante. Chong not able to hold that position. Pulling gets through. Can she keep Marti at bay as they come into the left-hander at 15? Marti's going to have the advantage. Through goes Marti and up into 5th spot. Chong tried her best, and boy, does she make it interesting for us.
She did, and I thought, wow, she's braked late, and yeah, just a little bit too late there. And I think from her point of view, like I said, just so much experience gained from this. I think it would be easy to brake early there, give the position to someone more experienced like Abby, but no, she committed to it, she braked late, unfortunately couldn't make it stick, but like I said, she's going to take so much from this.
Yeah, fantastic work from Chloe Chong, making us sweat in this race. But as we start the final lap then in race 2 here in Austin, it's Hamda Al-Qubaisi ahead of Lena Buller. And Hamda Al-Qubaisi has had a pretty quiet race out in front, 1.6 seconds to gap. We haven't really seen our top 3 now. They've kind of settled into that position.
I I know she's done a great job though. A little bit of pressure early on in the race. Lena Buller looked pretty quick. We've got Grace Moretz waving the flag. She's a big motorsport fan actually, big into her esports. I did a race with her last year and great to see her here and supporting F1 Academy. Whilst, yeah, Hamda Al-Kubaisi, really effortless drive from her and very important drive as well for the Teams Championship. We've seen Prema really eat into the MP advantage that they had coming into this weekend. So this is really important for them in the Teams Championship.
It really is. MP actually lost the lead at the end of race 1. 11 points, the gap coming into this race between themselves and Prema, but Hamda Al-Kubaisi doing her absolute best to try and keep the team's title fight alive and looking forward to what would be her 4th win of the season with just a few corners left to go. But there's your top 3 coming through: Hamda Al-Kubaisi, Buller and Edgar. Then comes Pulling.
That was really cleverly done, Abby. Well done.
I think she was quite impressed with herself, Jamie.
I think she spent a lot of this race, well, this race and yesterday's race, behind people I think she shouldn't have been behind. So good for her getting the move done, getting it done on track as well. So yeah, that's great from her. But yeah, the top 3, I mean, faultless drive from Hamda Al-Kubaisi, but also worth noting Jessica Edgar coming through in 3rd place. She's starting on pole tomorrow, and I did say she needed a good race in this one to have the confidence to go to sleep tonight and knowing she's got a chance to win tomorrow. So yeah, that's a great effort from her in the Carlin car.
It really will be, but the best effort of all goes to Hamda Al-Kubaisi, who rounds the final corner and takes the checkered flag to win race 2 here in Austin. The F1 Academy, Hamda Al-Kubaisi takes it in front of Lena Buller, who comes home in 2nd. Jess Edgar will complete the podium in 3rd. Abby Pulling with a sublime fight back up into 4th. Marty rounds out the top 5. Chloe Chong holds on to 6th, equals her best results of the season so far. Bustamante, a fantastic effort to get back from a stalled start on the grid, up into 7th, and Lola Lovenfoss rounds out the points-paying positions in 8th. Well, blink and you miss it. I thought that went quite quickly, Jamie.
It did, but plenty of action in there nonetheless. So yeah, fantastic race there from Hamda Al-Kubaisi. I really respect the way she drove that race, got her head down from the off, managed to make a gap, and here we can hear from her.
Okay, Hamda, so P1, that's P1. Good job, good job. Well deserved, well deserved. Very happy for you.
Yeah, thank you, that was good, yeah, so happy. Good job, guys.
Yeah, happy with that drive for Marta Garcia, for Hamda Al-Kubaisi, makes that her 4th win of the season. Lena Buller, a quiet drive as well, up into 2nd spot though, so another podium for Buller, most of any this season. Fantastic work for the Swiss racer, backed by Sauber. It will be her last season, her 1st and last season in F1 Academy, as she's hit the age limit, so won't be able to return. But what a year for her it's been to be in the title fight right to the very end. And backed by Sauber, I'm sure her career will fly after this. And Jess Edgar as well in 3rd. Quietly impressive, and as you say, Jamie, she will start race 3 tomorrow on Sunday from pole position.
She'll be very happy with that, and I think she's just got to take the confidence from today. She made some really good decisive moves in this race. She's got the best view tomorrow, she's got a great opportunity. She didn't get the best start in that race, so yeah, a little bit of a review of starts tonight, I think, and yeah, I'm looking forward to watching her go off pole position tomorrow.
Great to see so many fans in the grandstands out there to watch the F1 Academy action. 440,000 people across the weekend, and for F1 Academy on the bill for the first time with Formula 1, ahead of 7 rounds in 2024 that will all be supporting Formula 1. This is perfect. This is exactly what F1 Academy was all set out to do, wasn't it, Jamie? And this is only the start.
It really is. You know, I was talking about, we were here in W Series in 2021 and how special that felt, and you know, the people that were on the grid and the support we had, and now just seeing this is unbelievable, you know, how far we've come, and all credit to what F1 Academy have put in place and the infrastructure and everything that they've done for these girls to support them. I think, as you said, it's just the start. We're seeing Hamda Al-Kubaisi jump out now, and just the support we've seen this weekend and the appetite for it, it's amazing.
Promoting female talent on the track and off of it as well. But at the end of race 2, it's Hamda Al-Qubaisi who gets out of her MP Motorsport car and heads straight over to her team to celebrate a well-earned drive that. She was also an outside shot for the title this weekend. Couldn't quite make it stick, but she bounces back from that loss with a race 2 win. There's Lena Buller following up and with another podium, back-to-back podiums so far for Buller. And that goes a long way for somebody like Lena Buller, backed by Sauber as well. They'll be watching that, won't they, Jamie?
They will be, but actually it's worth noting that these two are actually very close for P2 in the championship, I believe. So I think going into tomorrow, they're both going to be watching each other to make sure you know, they can keep ahead of one another, because I think there's not that many points split in them. But of course, yeah, Sauber backed for Lena Buller's hugely valuable. We've seen obviously the F1 announcements rolling in as of late, and I think it's just fantastic that these young talented female drivers are getting the support.
Absolutely, it is still really tight for second in the Drivers' Championship. Buller just about edging it at the moment for Hamda Al-Qubaisi, but that one will 15 points between them at the moment, so that will go down to the wire. Charlotte Phelps there, one of the lead engineers for MP Motorsport, giving Hamda a huge hug there. Lena Buller then coming home in second, and Jess Edgar in third. Abby Pulling managed to get an extra point as well for setting the fastest lap. She finished in fourth, just outside the points. Only the top 8 score points in race 2 was Chloe Grant, Emily de Hoos, Carrie Schreiner in 11th, Maite Caceres, Megan Gilks, and Hamda Al-Qubaisi did get going as well. And after her tough start, but we lost Marta Garcia with a front wing broken coming into the pits and decided to call it a day there, but arguably she did the hard work earlier on today in race 1, where she became the inaugural F1 Academy champion. And there, your top 3, and we'll hear from our winner, Hamda Al-Qubaisi, who's talking to Naomi Schiff.
Hamda, a huge congratulations. Another win to add to your long list of wins. And you did it in front of this fantastic crowd out here in Austin. How was that?
Yeah, it was really good. I'm really happy. I mean, the pace is there, no doubt. It's just, we started off a bit rough, I would say, but you know, in the end, we can see that the pace is there, and I was able to lead and pull a gap. So I'm really happy about it, and yeah, I look forward to tomorrow.
Well, Lena was putting some pressure on you there the whole race through. She didn't let go, and you two are fighting for second place in the title. Yeah. So how much pressure did that put on you?
Yeah, I saw her coming, but I didn't think she would be there already in the first lap, so it was a bit of a shock, but when I saw her, I decided to keep pushing. I got a deja vu moment from Zandvoort, where she was also pressuring me there, so yeah, I was just like, head forward, keep pushing, and yeah, it worked out.
Well, there's one more race tomorrow, so you still are in that fight for second place. What are you going to do to achieve it?
Yeah, we will start P6 a bit far down, so I hope, you know, we can pull a good fight and try to focus on gaining positions as much as possible. Anything can happen, so I hope I'm able to get a podium step tomorrow as well.
Well, congratulations and good luck for tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hamda Al-Qubaisi then celebrating her win with a chat with Naomi Schiff. And this was her run to the line. And a flawless drive from Hamda Al-Qubaisi, the Emirati racer. And the younger of the Al-Qubaisi sisters in the grid, Amna the older, but Hamda getting the win, just 21 years old. And straight away celebrating with her team. And now we go to the cool-down room. Lena Buller and Jess Edgar already there. Caps getting put on. And no big incidents to report after race 2. They were all, the top 3 from race 1, were all having a great look at the turn 1 incident we saw earlier on. And just waiting for Hamda to join. Not too much talking going on, so not too much to listen into, but a little look at the start. And both of them getting a look at what happened to Marta Garcia's front wing. Hamda Al-Qubaisi joins them. Not very chatty in the cool-down rooms. I normally like this bit because it gives me a rest, but no, they're going to make me work, aren't they? I can tell you some more information though, because the team championship fight still well and truly on. That will go down to the wire. 4 points between Prema and MP Motorsports, thanks to Hamda Al-Qubaisi's win with MP Motorsport. So, and Chong and Bustamante were 6th and 7th for Prema, so picking up a few points there, which is why the gap has come down. So that is really a fight that is going down to the wire, as will the battle for P2 as well. About 15 points between Bula on the left-hand side of your screen and Hamda. Oh, they're having a little chat. I know, won't bother. There's Chloe Grace Moretz having a chat with Susie Wolf, the F1 Academy Managing Director and the woman behind this entire setup, and speaking a lot this weekend. Brilliant to see some of the Formula One drivers coming down to support. We had Lewis Hamilton, George Russell here for race 1. Esteban Ocon was here for qualifying as well. And it is all about getting eyeballs on F1 Academy, and you can see there we got a lot here in Austin, Texas, and we still have one more race to run tomorrow, which will get going from around about 9:40 local time in the morning. So do join us for that. But for now, it's time to get the celebrations underway on the podium for race 2. Jess Edgar steps out onto the 3rd step of the podium. The British racer shaking hands with the Swiss racer Lena Buller, backed by the Sauber F1 Academy. Takes the 2nd spot of the podium, but your winner of race 2 on the top step, Hamda Al-Qubaisi. Hamda Al-Qubaisi then, your race 2 winner here in Austin for F1 Academy, receives her trophy from the broadcaster Gail King, handing out all the trophies as well. Lena Buller picks up another bit of trophy for her cabinet that is expanded massively this season, and Jess Edgar gets another podium. That's her 3rd podium now in the F1 Academy season, and Hamda Al-Qubaisi does not want to get covered. She's still got one more race to run in these overalls. Lena Buller and Jess Edgar happy to have a little bit of a spray, but we're not getting as much as we got for race 1. A calm, cool and collected podium celebration as the curtain falls on the Circuit of the Americas F1 Academy action for Saturday. And what a track to come to as well, that has hosted Formula One since 2012 and plays host to other high-profile series, NASCAR, MotoGP, sports cars, and now playing host to F1 Academy. 2 races done and dusted then for today, and this is how the 2nd race ended up. Hamda Al-Qubaisi taking her 4th win of the season in front of Lena Buller and Jess Edgar rounding out the top 3. Abby Pulling with a sublime drive up into 4th. and also got the fastest lap to boot. Nerea Marti rounded up top 5. A good drive from Chloe Chong, couldn't quite keep the faster cars behind her, but a lot of learning done for her. In 6th, Bianca Bustamante fighting back from a stall on the grid to 7th, and Lola Lovenvoss picked up the final point in 8th in front of Chloe Grant and Emily de Hoos. Schreiner was 11th, Cáceres 12th in front of Jilks. Amna Al-Qubaisi also stalled, and our one retirement was Marta Garcia, but she sealed the championship, so not too much bother for her. Well, that is it for the F1 Academy action.
Yeah, as Harry's saying there, a third and final race of the season tomorrow from 25 past 3, and it is Jessica Edgar on pole position for that one. But well done to Hamda Al-Qubaisi, who becomes the second pole to flag winner of the weekend. She held them all at bay, but again, another fine race and a great advert for the Academy.
Great race, and I think the shorter race and the reverse grid nature made it exciting. We saw a lot of overtakes, a lot of battles, so it was fantastic.
Sprint follows us, by the way, in a few moments' time. That's from 10:15, and from tomorrow it is 6:30 on air for 8 o'clock lights out in the Formula One. And we'll come on to the sprint in a moment. But yeah, let's carry on picking up on what we were talking about. You know, this is a lot of eyeballs on them this weekend, particularly now as we stand, what, an hour away from the start of the sprint, and she handled the pressure really well.
She absolutely did, and honestly, I think it must have been an incredible feeling for her, especially those last laps out there when she was already sure of the fact that she was going to clinch that win. To see the people in the crowds there supporting her on that last lap, very special for these drivers and really important for women's sports.
And just what MP Motorsport needed, because they didn't have a great first race this morning. It is very tight between themselves and Prema now at the top for the team's trophy, which is going to be decided tomorrow.
Yeah, just a few points, I think. So, yeah, great result for them today. I think tomorrow there's 3 cars and they all need to be up there. And I think we saw a little bit of an unfortunate race 1 for them.
She is.
The race winner. I mean, we've just heard from you, but congratulations. We were just saying, I don't know, how did it feel racing in front of this amount of people here? You know, you've got a live television audience globally. That make you nervous?
Yeah, that was insane. Like, every time I passed by, especially the first corner, there's a lot of people there, and I almost missed my braking point a few times. I was like looking at them. Yeah, it's amazing. It's just a really good vibe. Pushed me even more, actually motivated me to push more. So.
Best moment of your career?
Yeah, for sure.
I bet.
Amazing, and it's close between you and Lena for second in the championship.
Yeah.
Was that in your mind in that race, or are you just focusing on winning?
More focusing on winning because, to be fair, I started off the weekend a bit rough in quali. Didn't put my sectors together, didn't put everything, you know, together to be up there. But in the end, I'm happy I was able to show that the pace is there, and that, you know, I can win the race despite Lena being behind. So yeah. It's good.
Well, Hamda, lots of people tell us that you are a rising talent and that you've got a lot of potential for the future. You've raced back at home in Europe as well, but how special is it to be here in front of F1, all these teams, for the first time and win in front of them as well?
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, the exposure we're getting here, it's phenomenal. And I think it's really good that back home, you know, my family and my people back home can watch me race, especially as an Arab woman. It means a lot to me, so yeah, it's really good.
Your sister Amna, unluckily, 2 people stalling on the grid there. Talk about sibling rivalry between the pair of you. How's that work at home?
Yeah, normally, you know, we used to argue a lot and fight a lot back in our karting days, especially when we were in the same category. But, you know, now I feel like we matured a lot more, and especially racing in the same team, we work together, we help each other, and it works best. So when I'm behind and I'm faster, she lets me go, vice versa. It's always been like this since the start of the season, so I think it's a good atmosphere.
Your poor parents. And just quickly, what have you done to your hand?
Oh yeah, I blistered it yesterday, so it was cut and I had to plaster it, otherwise it would cut even more.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Well done, we'll let you go and enjoy that.
Thank
Fantastic,
you.
great performance.
Thank
well
you,
done,
thank
Hamda.
you.
Best of luck for you tomorrow. One of the great drives, though, in that race was from Abby Pulling from 7th up to 4th. Let's go to the Sky Pad. Ant is there.
Yeah, absolutely right, Simon. So, yeah, we're looking at the pink car here, number 10, Abby Pulling, as you say. And I really felt like she was the race today. Down the inside here of the champion, the new champion, Garcia. Brilliant move into 15. And then really plucky driving, I feel, with Marti here round the outside. And, yeah, I mean, yes, there'll be F1 fans looking at this saying, hey, that was off the track, but it seems to be allowed in this category. And then a mistake here, I must say, into 11 and gets repassed by Marti, but then is on the attack again immediately after that. And some great wheel-to-wheel action here with Chloe Chong putting in a real strong defensive drive in front in the Prema. And then, yeah, move was, yeah, she retakes that move into 12. And then this move here was brilliant into turn 11. That created a bit of a drag race all the way down the straight back towards turn 12. The two of them neck and neck, and it came down to this breaking point, racing here for 4th place, came down to this breaking point into 12, and you can see that Marti's there still lurking around in the background as well. So, and some really clever driving here from Pulling. She realized that Chong was going to go in pretty deep to protect the position, crosses the line on the exit, and just like her engineer said, brilliant, clever driving to swap that line on the inside and get the move done. So yeah, like I say, she was my driver of the day today.
And ours. I think we psyched her up for it on the grid, didn't we? Gave her a bit of a pep talk, and then she pulled out a great drive. Fantastic.
Well, you certainly did, but also she had the pace. I mean, you saw how she put the pressure on Marta in race 1 this morning. She's a driver with a lot of talent, and I think she's, you know, really, really eager that before the end of the season comes, that she gets a win under her name in the series.
That's what she wanted. She wants to win, and she's going hell for leather, wasn't she? There, no quarter left on turn.
She was, but she's shown she can make the overtakes now. So I think going into tomorrow, she's going to have a lot of confidence.
Okay, we know it's going to be sorted tomorrow. Certainly the teams is tomorrow. It's a handful of points between Prema and MP Motorsport. But Hamda Alkabasi is the winner of race 2, following us right now. We'll be back in a couple of moments for the sprint. See you then. Bye.